All right, fun day. We've got the first Omega Zeus, and today we're going to shoot a video of the physical installation of the components. We're not going to go too much in detail, so I'm going to have another video coming out with step-by-step programming instructions. So today we'll focus on the installation of the physical components. So the box is a lot smaller than the other one, a lot less wires. Just a quick overview of what we've got. We've got the control module here. We've got a wire, which is basically an NMEA 2000 wire that connects the alternator drive module to the control box. We've got the alternator drive module, and then a couple of harnesses, which honestly, out of these wires here, you're probably only going to use the positive and negative wire. There are other wires in here that we'll cover in another video, but you can connect a Hall effect sensor for your batteries. You can connect a traditional shunt with this wire. You can connect a temperature sensor. You can have two feature in wires. So actually, as a matter of fact, you probably use one of the feature in wires if you have a Victron system to alert the system of an ATC. But really simple compared to the other one. They also give you a little adapter plug. So if you don't have an ARCO alternator, this plugs in straight to the back of the alternator, but if you have a different model alternator, you can have a little adapter plug, and then you have the stator wire for the RPM and the field wire here. So everything is got ring terminals. You've got the fuse holder. You've even got a fuse in there. You know, in most cases, this is going to be much simpler. I estimate easily half the time of any other regulator installation. So let's go to the boat, and I'm going to do some of the wiring ahead of time, and then we'll do the major component installation at the boat. All right, here we are on the boat, Leopard 50. Before we dive into the engine bay, I'm going to describe a couple of common installations. One for a monohull with one engine and one alternator, and the other one, like a boat like this, a catamaran with two engines. So you just need the one control module pack, the system pack that includes the control module and the ADM, and that covers you for a single engine installation. So here we have an isolated ground alternator. You would like to install it, you know, make sure it fits properly and everything, and then you swing it out. We'll look at that in a minute here in the engine bay. And the first lugs that are going to go on the positive and negative and positive here, are going to be your heavy battery cables. You always want the highest current conductors down to the base. Following that, for the installation of your Omega, the ADM, the temperature control is going to go right here on this hex nut, and then negative on top of your negative battery lug, positive on top of your positive battery lug. Highly recommended an ARCO shield. This prevents against inadvertent voltage spikes. They would go on top of that, the positive and negative for the ADM. And then the plug for the stator wire and the field, they'll connect directly to the back of your alternator. And then, not included in the kit but highly recommended, is a Hall sensor. This is needed to measure the current coming out of the alternator. It can clip on either your positive, negative, or your positive cable, wherever is more convenient, but this is not included. We're probably going to create some system packs just to make things a little easier in understanding what you need for the different systems. So that just clips on. No need to cut the wires and lug it and have a traditional shunt anymore, so it makes things a lot easier. And then this included cable goes to your alternator control module, or sorry, your control module, main control module. Now, in the case of a catamaran like this, from this system pack, you would add an alternator drive module, and what comes in this kit is another wire like this, an additional alternator drive module, and a temperature sensor. And it also includes a T. And so now you've got everything that you need to connect a second alternator to the system that will also be controlled by the alternator drive module. I don't have a second alternator here, but you get the idea. This, another cable like this, which was included in the other kit, would go to your alternator control module, and then temperature sensor, a shield, and you'd have to get another Hall sensor to clip on to get the current measured from that alternator. So you've got the one control module that controls both alternators with this system that we have set up over here. One thing to note is the included cable are 15 feet. Thankfully, they are the same M12 connectors as any NMEA 2000 connections. So if you have a longer cable lying around, or you want to add, you could add two of these together to make them longer. But if you have different requirements, you need like say like a longer cable to make an entire run or something like that, give us a shout, an email, and maybe we can do some substitution and set you up for what you need. So let's jump in the engine bay. All right, here we are in the engine bay, and like most boat owners, you've probably found a comfortable way, or a reasonably comfortable way, of working on your engines and everything around it. So here we are. To start the installation, like I was saying up above, you want to mount the alternator, adjust it, align it, make sure you're good, because once you've got your ADM mounted, you don't want to be realizing after that fact that you're unaligned and things like that. So I'd recommend mount the alternator, align it, shim it, do what you need to do, and then once you're ready to mount the ADM, then you take the belt off, swing it out, and then you can start mounting it. And what we've got here, up above we had an isolated ground alternator, and so we had a negative and a positive stud. In the case of a case ground alternator, like this one right here, you can put the negatives on the same terminal that the temperature sensor goes. Important that the temperature sensor goes first, and the two other little ring terminal, one for my ARCO shield and the other one for my ADM, go on second. Moving on to the positive cable, again, as we mentioned, you want the heavy current carrying conductor first, and then we'll have the ring terminal for the shield, and then for the, it doesn't really matter the order, but the shield and the power for the ADM. This is an older model ARCO A225, and it has internal regulation, and therefore the connector is different. Now ARCO includes this adapter, so in this case I placed the adapter, I butt connected the adapter to the original connector for the Zeus, and then I can disconnect the ADM if needed. If you have a recent ARCO alternator, this will plug straight in the back right here. What else we got here? Oh, there's the temperature probe. Temperature probe connects in here, and then of course the Hall effect sensor, which slid all the way down, connects over here. Now I already ran an M12 or an NMEA 2000 cable. My run was fairly long in this boat, so I chose a longer NMEA 2000 cable, so I was able to run one cable in one shot to my control module, which we'll go see shortly. And then that's pretty much it for the initial wiring. You want to torque all of your ring terminals. When you do torque them, keep in mind the angle that they're in, so you want to make sure that you're not going to torque this like that and then you go to swing it up and it's going to be in the way. So just be mindful of when you torque down the nuts and everything, you've got the wires going in the direction that you want. So like for this here, I'll probably torque it down like this, and then I can follow and attach everything on my positive cable right here. One thing to note as well on alternators, that not all models of alternators have this stud, but a lot of them do. It meets to the back of the rectifier, and you can actually unscrew this stud from the back. So it's very important when you loosen these nuts. It's not uncommon to loosen this terminal as well, and then you go and you tighten it up again, and eventually it can work its way loose. So it's important to make sure that you've got the proper torque on this one, and then the proper torque. It's important to use a torque wrench for these. I'll post a specification on a different document here with the video, but torque these to the proper specs, and then once you're good to go, you can swing the alternator up into place, and then you zip tie the entire assembly on your negative cable like this. The cable coming off of the alternator, it's important not to let it hang down to the engine bay like this, because the engine's vibrating, and these cables are heavy, and the point of contact, or where the vibration is going to be felt the most, is right on the stud. So it's important to zip tie it or attach it on a part of the engine that vibrates at the same frequency as the engine itself. So wherever you can, like in this case I have this clamp for the hose, I could zip tie it here, and then at that point then it can hang down, because the vibration point happens right here, and this shakes at the same frequency as the engine when it's underway. So just, that's important. I've seen some of these studs break off because of poor installations like that. A quicker installation than traditional traditional either wake speed or even the original ARCO Zeus. There's quite a bit more to it in the installation. You know, in this case, all I had to run was one wire to the front to the control module. You know, and we're good here. So why don't we pop over up top and take a look at the control module. All right, so here we are inside the boat. Actually, we have an original Zeus here and the Zeus Omega. You can see the difference in size. This is the cable that was in the engine bay that I ran. That's the only cable that links the control module and the ADM at the back. There are 2 CAN ports, and so because I have 2 Zeuses here, we've daisy chained. This goes to my servo, this comes and daisy chains to this one, and this is the resistor for the system. If we didn't have an ARCO Zeus in here, you could put in the resistor. I have one right here. You could put in the resistor at the back of the servo, and you can actually enable an internal resistor within the alternator control, or the control module here. So I mean, you could plug in the other one here, or you can turn it on within the app. There's not that many wires compared to this one. I mean, I took them apart here just so you can see just how many more wires. It's hard to see, but there's definitely more wires with this guy than this. This is all we've got for this Zeus Omega right here. That's not true. There's these ones as well. So the only wires in most cases that are going to be necessary is the positive and a negative wire. Now, one important note about these wires, they also sense the voltage of the system. Because this is a very low draw appliance, they can make that happen, but you don't want to be extending these for very long runs. Now, I have a 15-foot run with 14 gauge wire. I calculated the drop to be 0.04, I think, or 0.5, something like that, at full output. So realistically, that's fine. But I mean, it saves wires. So if you need to extend the wire within 15 feet, 14 gauge, you're fine. If you have a different scenario, definitely reach out to me and we can discuss that. So another thing that you want to consider is the location of this control module, because this is where the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi module are located. So obviously, in this case on the Leopard 50, I mounted him right here. My helm is right behind me here, so while I'm at the helm, I can easily get the control module. The router, Wi-Fi router is up there. The router is a little bit more powerful than the Bluetooth radio, but I mean, just one thing to consider. So close to the batteries, because these are also the voltage sense wires, and in a location where you want to have decent Bluetooth reception. It's not as powerful as this large antenna with the original Zeus, obviously, but in most applications it's fine. I've had this mounted down there with the beta version in the electrical room and with all the inverters, and I was still able to capture the Bluetooth up at the helm. Okay, so now we can talk a little bit about some of the other wires that are included in this bundle. As I said, 90% of the time you're only going to need the power cables in the kit, but there are some other features here. This is another temperature probe if you want to put a temperature probe on your batteries. The purple and brown wire are for feature ins. In the app, there's a selection, force to float, and it could be an ignition source, which this, as mentioned previously, does not require an ignition source. But if for whatever reason your application, your alternator's stator wire does not work anymore, or you can't get to it, you could have an ignition source and power it to the traditional regulator or the original one. So that's on this main harness right here. Then this wire that comes with a kit is for a shunt. Now, let's say that you had an original Zeus, you wanted to swap it out, you already have a shunt installed in the engine bay, so instead of adding a Hall sensor, you could use the same wires that were attached to the shunt on your previous Zeus and connect them to this and read the shunt. You can direct the shunt to the alternator output or the battery. So let's say you have a traditional shunt on your battery system, or you have another system that has a traditional shunt, you could run these to there to get the amperage from the battery. In most cases, like this setup right here, you're going to be through CAN bus getting the data from the Victron. And then the next port over is the Hall port. This is a different Hall sensor than the one that we had in the engine bay. The connector is a little bit less weather resistant, if you will, because it's meant to be indoors. But you can plug this to the Hall port, and then you can connect this to your main battery bank to read current from your main battery bank. So in a nutshell, that's pretty much it. There's obviously a lot more to dive into in the setting sides of things, so I will on a separate video talk a lot about the settings and how to properly set the settings for different systems. That's going to be pinned in the comments, so if you don't see it there, it means I'm not done yet. In addition to that other video, I'm going to have other little wiring diagrams and handy tips and things like that on that same page that you can look at. Overall, much easier installation, a robust system, and in the case of a catamaran, actually a little bit cheaper. So they've really thought it through and made the installation much more pleasurable. So like, subscribe if you've liked the video. There's a link down in the description for all of these parts and the kits that we've talked about. And I'll try to respond to the comments as they come along.